The makeup and costuming in this piece all aid in this comedic presentation, sort of a take on clowns or like a modern take on clowns. Very female heavy ensemble, which we love to see, and strong comedic performances throughout and very witty dialogue.
There's this great dynamic between all of these characters that we're seeing. The duality between the two characters as she looks at herself in the mirror and has these two different perspectives of who she is. The costuming design and makeup being very cohesive. And what's really nice is that within this piece, you can see that this fiery red passion has this sense of spark and anger and villainy almost. As we have our main character singing, and you just see this just not amused look as she's destroying this already dried, dead, crusted flower and then just slams it on the ground. It's very telling of that energy of who this person is. There's this sense of brightness that comes from the character who wears yellow, and this sense of solemnness that comes with the character who wears blue. And so you get to see this dynamic that happens in all of them. You find that this piece is essentially artistic protest to Croatian anthems and making a mark to try to change it and grow in our ways and out with the old of what necessarily shouldn't be following with us today, and coming to terms that change is good when it comes to getting rid of things of bigotry. And
very interesting, unique film. I think right off the bat, I was intrigued by the costumes and the makeup. Those were definite film highlights for me. I loved all the colors in this film and the aesthetic that created. And I thought it was very interesting that there was 4 women, but there was only ever two specific pairs of women. They all had different personalities that were very obvious. Even though I couldn't understand what they were saying, I could tell just by their acting and their attitude and their costume makeup what their different personalities were. So I thought that was pretty impressive. They both each kind of had their own musical themes as well, which gave me an insight into their character, which I thought was cool. I thought the cinematography in this film was done really well, especially with the lighting and how the lights changed colors at different scenes. And yeah, I thought the message at the end was also super interesting about the national anthem and how it's being possibly changed. But I thought that was a really cool message at the end as well that gave me some more insight into what the film was about.
This film has a very interesting color schematic into it, where each of the characters kind of blend in with the rooms they're in, whether it's red or blue or yellow. The costume choices were quite interesting as well, where some look like they're little kids with big, giant comical bows on their heads and still blending in, or others in a blue dress or jeans and a striped shirt. It's kind of giving the idea of fantasy and the idea of observing if everything's within one color, because it's almost as if they're afraid to cross the boundary into different colors, which makes it quite interesting as well. Just the idea, the concept of not being able to breach each other's area. It's really very interesting. And I kind of wish I understood the dialogue a little bit, but it does draw you in with the vibrant colors and the fact that it's almost as if they're afraid, and the weird makeup where instead of it being contoured and blended in, it's just the lines right across the face that are very dark and vivid.
I enjoyed the theme that it explores. I think it's a really interesting perspective, and visually, it's a treat for the eyes. Everything from the makeup to the wardrobe, the props really brings the visuals and the music to life.
There were so many creative moments where props and music came together to serve the narrative. I liked the power struggle revealed between characters, as one was young and naive, wanting out the window to see the world, one was controlling, and one was controlled. I appreciated learning about the anthem protests near the end of the film. A lot of what we saw in the film was in line with the thrust of the protest, such as historically evil and misguided power. Great sound design.